Another minisode on extremely niche scientists. So for this one, my first one was on psychology and emotional unswearing and how swearing is a hypoalgesic. Totally switching gears here. Now we're going to talk about two researchers who both look at fluid dynamics, which is engineering. And at first I was like, okay, like, I don't know, engineering doesn't usually do it for me, but hear me out. All right. One of them, his name is Dr. David Hu. He's a professor of mechanical engineering and biology at Georgia Tech, and he runs the Hu Lab for Biolocomotion down in Georgia. That lab works very closely with Zoo Atlanta, and he is a leading researcher in the biomechanics of animal locomotion. So in the context of fluid dynamics. So here's kind of how that works. His research focuses on problems of hydrodynamics and how fluid and solids interact and things like that, but that's just fluid dynamics. He originally started looking at animals and water, so like water striders and how they're on top of the water and how they locomote on top of that. But then his research switched a little bit, thanks to one of his graduate students working in his lab with him. He has all these cool ideas. He has written a ton of different papers, over 60, on hydrodynamics of water strider locomotion, confessions of a wasteful scientist, mechanics of slithering locomotion. He's written 2 books, How to Walk on Water and Climb Up Walls, and Robots of the Future.
Interesting.
And the P Word, a manual for mammals, which we'll get to in a second. But with his PhD student, Patricia Yang, and a few other students, Dr. Hu focused on specifically animal urination and defecation. So that's how we get into fluid dynamics. And
interesting.
Yes. So it was really Yang's idea, his PhD student, but it's his lab. So he's lead. She's got the idea.
Yeah.
They work together to workshop this out.
Which happens a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you need, as a PhD student, you need an advisor to be able to do all that stuff. She has since they did this research, she has gone on to be a renowned scientist of her own, and she is an assistant professor of power mechanical engineering at National Tsinghua University, and she's also written papers and published things, and the two of them together have won 2 IG Nobel Prizes, which if you guys don't know what the IG Nobel Prize is, you should, because it's not like the Darwin Awards, right, which is just like a fake award for people who don't survive their own stupidity. The IG Nobel Award is seriously awesome contributions to science, but ones that make you laugh and then go, how interesting. So they got their 2 IG Nobel Prizes based on this research. So, first, urination. Dr. Hu was inspired by changing his son's diapers and how quick that can happen, and just wondering, along with his PhD student, how the urinary system evolved to be so freaking efficient. Like, at least for mammals, it's very efficient.
Yeah, because it is.
So he and his research team, who I told you this lab works closely with Zoo Atlanta, they videoed 32 different mammals peeing and timed it using slow motion cameras. So let's not talk about the invasion of privacy to these poor animals, but they could see how long it took, which is flow rate, and then compared it to urethra size and length. Okay? So, because this does matter. They found that all mammals...
I'm sure it does.
This is crazy. This is what the P Word book is about. So, all mammals over 3 kilograms, so not like mice and shrews, those are outliers, but everybody else, everybody bigger, empties their bladder in approximately 21 seconds. Like, it's just the rule. The rule of urination. You're going to pee in about 21 seconds. And that doesn't matter if your bladder is 100 milliliters or 100 liters. Because, like, from elephant down.
Interesting.
21 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's all due to increasing urethra length.
Yeah.
Which increases gravitational forces. So, the longer the schlong, the more it's pulling. And emptying it quicker. So, basically...
Did they, evolution-wise, talk about why?
Well, so the findings revealed that the urethra evolved as a flow-enhancing device, right? You don't want your urine stuck in you for multiple reasons. 1, it can lead to infection. 2, you need to just go so that you can keep on going.
Yeah.
It enables...
Yeah, it's waste. I mean, it's waste.
Yes. And by just increasing the length of a urethra, like in it from an evolutionary standpoint, that allows the urinary system to be scaled up without compromising any function. Like, you're not increasing bladder size. You're not taking up room inside. You're just increasing urethra length.
Yeah.
Which I think is also, though, fascinating because it's male and female. We don't have the same urethra length. So it's got to be like an average, I would assume, between. I couldn't find that in the study of, did they only look at males? Did they look at both? Do girls and boys?
Yeah.
And of course, there was a standard deviation of 13 seconds. And when you're talking about 21 seconds as the norm, with a deviation of 13, that's freaking huge. But the majority of animals was right around that 21 second point. So, why does that matter? The research could ultimately lead to better engineered systems for, like, biomimicry stuff.
Well, it's any tubing with liquid through it, which is so
You're
much.
trying to find the most efficient water tanks, backpacks, fire hoses.
AC units. Like, there's so much.
Literally anything, because you're just trying to find what is the most efficient size of this tube for this tank. Because nature already figured it out. Plus, it can help diagnose animal urinary problems. If you're, let's say, you're a zookeeper and you have an animal that is taking 45 seconds to pee, there's a problem. And you know that because it's just taking too long. So, for both medical things and for actual engineering implications, this study matters.
Yeah.
Although you can see why he did write a paper and has been questioned by, I forget if it was Senate or Congressman. He has Confessions of a Wasteful Scientist. Because when you hear about studies like, this is one of those studies where people are like, oh my gosh, look at all the wasted money we're spending looking at animals pee. Well, yeah, but it can lead to...
This is engineering.
Yes. This is engineering at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, this is engineering.
And so, after studying urination, what is only the next logical step but defecation, which is also technically like a fluid, you know? And again, Patricia Yang, his student, was like, hey, first wanted to look at some different aspects, was just trying to come up with what about poo are we going to look at? Because I want to look at something. Which is, I want to be this woman's friend. But finally decided on... that they wanted to know, why is wombat poo cube-shaped? Because nobody apparently has actually figured out why. Which is crazy. Like, I did know it was cube-shaped. I guess I've never known why, because it really wasn't studied. But yes, for anyone out there who doesn't know, wombat poop is square. So the previous theory is that something about their anus or sphincter just makes it like that. Like, they have a square-shaped sphincter or something.
Yeah, it just
makes a perfect little cube.
Yeah, however it comes out, like...
Yeah, like, I'm just picturing a Play-Doh mold. You know those... The Play-Doh squisher?
Yes, the smash ones, Yes.
So that's what they did think.
And, like, how it cuts it off.
100%.
Yeah.
But this was a joint study with a scientist from Australia. So they worked with a scientist from Australia who could get them some wombat carcasses. He's, like, a leading wombat researcher. So they were like, we need some cadavers. We gotta look at their insides.
Can you imagine reaching out to that guy?
Hey.
Yeah, but reaching out to that guy, hey, I hear you got a lot of... you got a lot of dead wombats. I have a lot of poop questions. Can we swap some
he was probably just as interested in why, too, which is the best part of all this science stuff, is we're all just freaks together, right? Somebody comes up with a good question, and other people are going to be like, yeah, we do want to know that. So because look at his other work. Look at this guy's, Dr. Wu's other work. It does have real world positives that we need from it. So wombat, they found out from looking at these cadavers that wombat intestines are 33 feet long, which is about 10 feet longer than humans. So long, which makes sense. Wombats are herbivores. We are more omnivores. You need longer intestines if you're eating plants.
It'd be longer.
But the longer your intestines, it's giving your body more time to absorb nutrients, but also moisture. So it's leading to much drier poop by the time it gets through 33 feet, because all your moisture is sucked out. So before experimenting, so like they measured these intestines, but before using the intestines to see if they could figure out and make square poop using wombat intestines, they used pig intestines and then just sewed some cloth intestines to mimic that. Then once they had done some of the legwork, then they were like, all right, let's try it in the dead wombats. So what they found out is that some portions of the wombat intestines are stiff. Specifically, like where it straightens out.
Interesting.
They're like hard almost.
Yeah.
And then other parts are soft.
Huh.
So as the poo fills the intestines, it resists the bending of these stiff zones.
Yeah.
And then as it goes like around a corner, and after it goes through 4 of these, like, by that time, it's got 4 walls and corners. So it's really not about the sphincter at all. It's about how it's compacted in these stiff, soft zones that make cubes.
That would make such a funny cartoon, though. Like, this little poop going through is like, mash. Like,
run into a wall, starting get to flat on one side.
A perfect cube.
Yeah. Come out and you're just a perfect little square. So again, why does this matter? Why did anybody fund such research? 2 things. One, also, like, very seriously important. How, in manufacturing, do we get cubes out of tubes? So again, about tubes, just like the last one. But, I mean, think about, like, candy and food and all of this stuff. We want it to be square. You've got to do that typically after it comes out of a tube. But you can just skip some of that and go straight to square if you set up your tubes right. And so that's the one that doesn't really matter, but is interesting. But also,
can you imagine a food scientist at Hershey being like, I can make a better Tootsie Roll? And they're like, how? Listen, I read this study on wombat intestines. Poop. We can make it.
Just set it up like some wombat intestines. Gosh. And then they get fired. But the other really serious implication of this is being able to do earlier diagnostics of colon cancer. Because when you get colon cancer, your colon becomes stiff in certain areas depending on where your cancer is. So if all of a sudden your poop is becoming more walled, like it's not round anymore.
Yeah, more walled,
then you would know there's something that's becoming stiff. Like, that's what's causing it. There's something stiff in your colon. You got a stiff colon, which probably unfortunately means colon cancer. So if we can, like, earlier diagnostics and just somebody at home, like when you take a dump in the toilet and then you look in and it's not round,
you're like,
make a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, that's something's going on.
Get a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
So fluid dynamics.
Right.
Urination, defecation.
I'll tell you what, though, he definitely took what should have been an average degree and just ran with it.
He's actually from here in Maryland, too.
What I mean?
Like, he's from Rockville, which is where I work. And he's only, I think he might be a decade older than us, but he's not that much older than us. But he sounds like a cool guy. Yeah. She sounds like an awesome girl. And that lab, I bet that lab is full of such fun nerds studying animal locomotion.
Right? Well, yeah, because you figure also you have so you have an idea that is absurd, but you have a professor that is willing to encourage you to, let's do it because of the absurdity. So, imagine the creativity and the space that he's created, that these students feel comfortable enough talking about these insane, but clearly huge implication projects for things that could really benefit mankind.
Yeah. Just fascinating stuff. Again, taking an engineer from being something that's kind of like, oh, that sounds boring, to, whoa, that's freaking cool.
Yeah. That's really neat. All right, guys, so that is our 3rd mini episode for this season. Next week, we have another long episode. Then after that, another mini. So make sure you guys go check us out on Patreon. Support us if you can. And follow us on social media, Wildly Curious Pod. And we will talk to you guys next week.
See ya.